Hey, Daddy, this is the man of the champions, Bill Alfonso, giving a shout out to
Something else.
something else, Daddy.
This is Nicole Matata, Great Warrior Wolf, and you are listening to Something Else.
I'm Tony Cini, and you're listening to Something Else.
Hey everybody, it's Rich Palladino, the voice of New England, and you are listening to Something Else with Arya.
Welcome to episode number 319 of Something Else. Feast your hair holes on this week's episode as we take a look at Mid-South Wrestling from August the 10th, 1985. My name is Arya, and joining me as always is the Carl Styles to my Frankie Williams. It's Alyssa. How the hell are you doing today, Alyssa?
Beautiful. I'm good. How are you?
I am fantabulous. Thank you for asking. You've now been doing this almost a month.
I know, 3 whole weeks, and I'm more confused than ever.
Actually, I think this is your 4th week, isn't it?
Maybe? I don't
Yeah.
know.
You're almost a professional at this point.
That's cute.
That you're a professional.
Yep.
So, are you excited for your first ever wrestling show coming up next weekend?
Next weekend? Yeah, it is next weekend already. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
A week from this Friday, Beyond Wrestling presents American Rana. The Something Else Studio Geeks are going to be there, rocking out in Cranston, Rhode Island, at Rhodes on the Pawtucket, which is still a weird ass name for a fucking thing. But
It's Pawtucket.
Pawtucket.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell it is, it's in Cranston, Rhode Island, ladies and gentlemen. Go check it out. And if you can't be there, IWTV.com. IWTV.com. Subscribe and watch your favorite independent wrestling all over the world. Alrighty. So, 4th episode of Mid-South. This was a weird one.
I don't understand. I think this episode just made me more confused.
Well, I will try to help you out with the confusion. Honestly, like, this is a 41-minute show, and it really felt like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Because this show now, it's labeled as August 10th, but the file we got included the results from the Superdome from later, that was on August 10th. So this was probably the tape that ran around the loop a week or two later. So, it's funny because, like, if you were in New Orleans, this show aired an hour before the Superdome show happened. So this was not the show that aired in New Orleans, because how the hell could you put in video clips of what happens at a show that hasn't happened yet?
Well, someone fluffed up.
Well, not really. Like I said, like, what happens back in the old days like this? Like, this tape would air at the home market on the date listed. So August 10th, New Orleans, Louisiana saw this episode, but the last match, they just got the match. But then they took the same tape and edited in the results of the Superdome show and sent it to all the other towns that the show aired in, and they got it a week later.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how it worked back in the day, because you had to, basically put these tapes on a bus and send them to all the other different little cities that it aired in.
Heard that it's improved, maybe. Probably not.
It has improved in the last 40 years. They're not putting the tapes on a bus to get them to the different places. Thanks to improved satellites and the worldwide internet, you do not have to wait a month to see something unless a company decides to make you wait for a month. But all right,
Oh
so
yeah.
let's get into the show. It is Mid-South Wrestling, August 10th, 1985. Let's go to the intro with JR and Joel Watts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting hour of America's #1 wrestling program, Mid-South Wrestling. I'm Jim Ross, along with Joel Watts. We'll be describing the action, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of exciting things for you, and hopefully later on in the hour, that we're going to have some highlights from the Superdome. We hope to have that footage just a little bit later in the hour, but Joel, needless to say, we do have another tremendous hour for the fans.
Oh yeah, we've got a great lineup of Mid-South Wrestling stars for you. You're going to see Hacksaw Jim Duggan in action. You're going to see Eddie Gilbert going against the Nightmare in kind of an unlikely match. You're going to see Bobby Fulton in a challenge match against Superstar Bill Dundee, and we'll be seeing the reason for that just shortly. We'll also hear from Dick Murdoch. Jim, it's going to be an exciting hour.
It certainly is. We'll also see Humongous in action again, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people are wondering what has happened to Superstar Bill Dundee. What has turned him to, what has brought him to do what he has done in recent weeks here in the Mid-South area? Well, 2 weeks ago on Power Pro Wrestling, a very interesting turn of events occurred. Let's go now to 2 weeks ago. This match happened on Power Pro Wrestling. Let's go now to the ring.
Okay, so a lot of exciting things for me this week. That's what Joel said. That's for me. So I felt quite, spoiled there that they would do all this just for me.
It's just for you, baby.
Yep, no one else. No one at all.
Nope.
Although by the end of the show, I was wondering why couldn't they have done it for somebody else? Now, I'll be honest, you sent me your notes, and I hadn't watched the show yet, so I didn't really read them. But I noticed in your notes that you said, does Joel ever talk? And I'm like, man, JR must have not been able to shut up at the start of the show. But I don't know what you were watching, but I didn't feel like, Joel didn't get anything in.
I mean, you missed the never mind afterwards.
To be fair, again, I was ignoring the notes. I was just trying to, But, yeah, so if you're watching this or you're listening to this and it doesn't sound like they got much to talk about this week, it's because they don't have much to talk about this week.
It was a week.
Yeah. This was an hour of programming that occurred. We did get told that we're going to have the Bobby Fulton challenge match against Bill Dundee. And what has happened to Bill Dundee over the last few weeks? This guy who, we never used to see him on that much, but he was always a fan favorite. The crowd really liked him. And now all of a sudden he's turned his back on the crowd. He's turned his back on America and America. I guess it's okay since he's Australian to turn his back on America, but still. Now, they send us to an episode of Power Pro Wrestling from 2 weeks ago with the Fantastics versus Tommy Pritchard and Pat Rose. Now, if you remember, about 2 weeks ago on this show, they showed us the end of this match and said that next week they'd show us the entire match, and then they didn't, but now they showed it to us this week. And
I was gonna say, did we actually see that match, or are they just trying to gaslight us?
No, they showed us the end when Dutch ran in with the whip and all that happened, and they chose the entire thing, and then they didn't until this week. But this is not the last time on this show that they're going to show an entire match just to show the angle at the end.
Oh boy!
No, it is. We'll get to it a little bit later. Now, this is the Mid-South B show, Power Pro Wrestling. We don't really talk about it because, well, we don't have the video files, but also because nothing really ever happens on it. Now, they show the entire intro of the Fantastics, which means we got to see Bobby and Tommy get sexually assaulted on the way to the ring while Sharp Dressed Man played. 'Cause every girl's crazy about a sharp dressed man. Bam, 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 bam. Is that true, Alyssa? Is every woman crazy about a sharp dressed man?
I don't know about Man, but put a lady in a suit and whew, I am swooning.
Note to self: don't send Alyssa pictures of Sonya to Bill. Um, so Bill Dundee comes to the ring, mad about Bobby for shaking his ass at all the little girls. I feel like we could have had some editing here. And anyway, Bobby slapped the shit out of Bill, and the booker took off. Eventually, Bill and Dutch run in for the DQ, and Dutch whipped Bobby. If that sounds familiar, it's because, like I said, we saw this 2 weeks ago, and they promised to show us the whole thing last week.
You can't do that!
But do that they did.
Yes, they did. I mean, I think that's where I was mostly confused because I'm like, they said we watched this match 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I think I was here 2 weeks ago.
No, we saw this match on a different show 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Fantastics beat Tommy Pritchard and Pat Rose by disqualification, which leads to our real opening match, Bobby Fulton versus Superstar Bill Dundee. Now, if you think they were not going to show Bobby Fulton's entire ring entrance again, I want to remind you they did not tape enough stuff for this show, I'm pretty sure. Because sure enough, Bobby Fulton comes out, gets sexually assaulted by the women at ringside, because every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, God. So because they kept playing Sharp Dressed Man over Dundee's promo, we can't play it because I don't want to get a YouTube copyright strike here. But
I was gonna say, is that why you texted that to me before?
Yes.
I was
Because
confused.
that's right. Because you don't get, because I send you the link that has like the music edited out. So the Fantastics theme song is Sharp Dressed Man.
Ah.
Yeah. So
I actually know what that song is.
oh, I hope so. I just sang it twice in the last 2 minutes. I hope so.
Yes. Well, I mean, sometimes my brain not too much work pretty good.
To read makes our speak English good. So they reiterated the stips from last week. If Bobby Fulton wins, then he wins Bill Dundee's pink bodysuit. And the funniest thing about this is Bill Dundee is a very short man. And while Bobby Fulton isn't exactly the big show, Bobby Fulton's at least 5 or 6 inches taller than Bill Dundee. So if he won this suit, he'd need to do some hemming to let it out a bit.
Well, I think he does that at the end of the match.
Well, no, Dundee got his suit back, but so Fulton works on Dundee's arms for what felt like 15 or 16 minutes. Dundee retaliated with a running punch to the face. And then we got the worst ref bump of all time of the week as Carl Fergie follows in on a couple arm whips, and Fulton flails his arm backwards and pokes Fergie. Dundee gets him down and hits the whoopee cushion off the top rope to win and retain his pink bodysuit. After the match, Dutch brought Fulton's ring jacket to Dundee, and Dundee ripped it up. Tommy Rogers ran down to question this behavior and got into a fight with Dutch and Dundee. But we have a 2-on-1 on Rogers. Fulton eventually made the save, running off the heels.
Yes. I mean, I kind of skipped the meet and greet after like the first time we saw it because, it takes up 15 minutes of the freaking match. Like, I looked at the timestamp, and the timestamp was like 20 minutes, and I'm like, Jesus H Christ, this is a long match. And then we get to like halfway through, and they're still like making out with all the girls in the audience, and I'm like, okay, this is enough. That's enough of this. I'm skipping to the fight.
The funny thing is the match wasn't even really that long. I think bell to bell was like 5 minutes. But just like, it was a very nothing happening match.
This was kind of a nothing happening episode. Like,
well, to be fair, we didn't know that at this point. We just like, man, this is not the best way to start the show. But it turns out it was probably the best way to start the show.
I mean, this might have been the best match of the episode.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was only 3 other matches, and we only really saw 2 of them. But
There were more.
There's 1,
more
2.
than that.
Oh, I'm sorry. There were 4 more matches, but 3 of
There were
them
5.
with this match. Then we have Humongous, The Nightmare, Jim Duggan, and Wendell Cooley. That's 4.
But we have 2 with the Nightmare. With not the Nightmare, Humongous.
No, we only have 1.
There's
We'll get to that here in a second. We only have 1
Yeah.
new match with Humongous. But what were your thoughts on the Bobby Fulton Superstar Bill Dundee match?
Is there just half Nelsons or are there full Nelsons?
No, they have a full Nelson. They also have a 3/4 Nelson.
Wow, we can do math.
Yep.
Um.
But there's no quarter Nelson.
Also, if one of those guys touched me, like if I was ringside and one of those men touched me, I would be throwing hands. Like I'd be in the ring throwing hands.
To be fair, it's not like they're climbing over the guardrail and going after the women. The women are going to the guardrail to hug and kiss them.
Oh, I know. I'm just thinking if that was me, I'd be like, don't touch me, don't look at me. I'm
Well-
just here to watch the match, and I'm gonna stay in my seat.
Then don't run to the barricade when everyone else does.
That's the plan, yeah.
Here, I will spoil things for you. No wrestler's going to go into the crowd and kiss and hug any of the fans.
Thank God.
All right. So after that, we were going to go to an interview with Dick Murdoch. However, first we had to watch a replay of him versus Humongous. And when I say we are going to watch a replay of him versus Humongous, I don't mean we're just going to watch like the end of the match with the finish or the beginning of the match when Sir Oliver Humperdinck brings him out. They replayed the entire fucking match from last week with Dick Murdoch and Humongous.
They had nothing better.
It's like literally between this and the Fantastics match, they spent at least 10 to 12 minutes on replaying matches at the beginning of this show this week.
I swear, more than that. Like, just the first match felt like it took like a half hour to get the first flashback.
Well, after that, we finally go back to Dick Murdoch, who is still patiently waiting at the announce desk to cut his promo. Let's go to Dick Murdoch.
Well, Dick, it was certainly one of the most shocking turn of events I have ever seen in wrestling. This man made such a lasting impression. Of course, no one knows that any better than you. This man, well, let's hear your comments.
Well, Jim and Joel and all the folks out there in Mid-South, you know that professional wrestling is the toughest sport in the world today. You know, I've played football and I've rodeoed professionally, and I've been around a long, long time, and that man was one of the most devastating and awesome creatures I've ever seen in professional wrestling. Just getting a few stitches put in your head or getting busted open, that's a part of life in professional wrestling. Getting your teeth knocked out, getting your bones broken. It's a man's sport. It's a tough organized sport. But when you have to go up against, I was geared to wrestle one person here on television. Then Humperdinck shows up, and he brings out the Nightmare. Well, I've wrestled that man. I know what to look for. I geared myself for that. And then all of a sudden, he brought out this Humongous. Well, in professional wrestling, I've hit a lot of people with my elbow. And it's dropped a lot of people.
Yes.
It didn't even phase that man. I don't know what we're going to do. He's got some kind of mask on. I don't know what he looks like. I've never seen him, man. A lot of people were hollering the Barbarian, but he is not the Barbarian. I'll tell you, I've never met anybody with such strength. He picked me up, I guess, like a paperweight and just chunked me back in that ring. But there'll be another time, another place, and I haven't run from a person in my life. And I don't mind getting scarred up, but one thing I do mind is getting carried out of the ring. And that happened to me, and it doesn't happen too often to Dick Murdoch. And I'll guarantee we'll meet again.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you hear the comments from Captain Redneck, the rowdy Texan from Waxahachie. No doubt about it. We haven't heard the last of this situation, and we certainly have not heard or seen the last of Humongous. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with Humongous right after this.
You know, Alyssa, you may not know this, but pro wrestling is the toughest sport in the world. Much tougher than football or rodeo.
And it's a man's sport.
It's a man's world. This is a man's world.
I don't know how our delicate feminine constitutions can handle it.
I don't know. I've been watching since, I was a wee lass. So, I'm used to it. I'm worried for you, though, when we go to our show. You may not be able to handle such, frenetic action.
All the manliness in the room.
Yes. What will you think when there's women's wrestling?
Hey now, don't threaten me with a good time.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. So at this point is where I wrote, this show is more than half over, and it feels like nothing has happened. It's like, literally, without commercials, this show is 41 minutes and 50 seconds. And when the Dick Murdoch promo ended, we were 25 minutes and 14 seconds into the show. We were more than half over.
So I have written down, so they didn't have a lot of matches this week and needed to pad out the runtime. And then also I skipped over some of the match because we already seen it and talked about it. So why watch it again? I'm sorry, I have better things to do with 15 minutes of rambling of a match I watched last week.
Well, did you watch the next match? Humongous, with your favorite manager, Sir Oliver Humperdinck, versus Mark Ragen. Now, I'm not expecting you to know who this is, but did you pick up on the name of the referee for this match?
It sounded familiar. What was it?
Tommy Gilbert.
Yeah, he's a wrestler, right?
He used to be, but he's the father of Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert.
Oh.
Now, they didn't mention this on TV. They just mentioned this match, and then later on, he referees the last match. And they just say, Tommy Gilbert is the referee. And if I'm Sir Oliver Humperdinck, I'd be worried about a conspiracy if Eddie Gilbert's dad is refereeing Humongous's matches.
Only if Eddie Gilbert is facing Humongous.
Well, Humongous won with the Shinnomaki.
I don't know what that is.
It's known to the vast majority of the world as the Cobra Clutch. But on this show, they call it the Shinnomaki, which is the Christian name for that move. But any thoughts on Humongous squashing poor Mark Ragen?
Everything just kind of bounces off of him, and poor Ragen was a freaking rag doll out there. Even when he went to just do his moves, he was like, boing!
Like he was doing his job.
Like Stretch Armstrong. You remember that toy that he just kind of stretched and bounced off of things? That's what it reminded me of.
I do remember Stretch Armstrong. So
that
we
was
go to
before my time.
But yet you're the one talking about it. All right. So North American champion The Nightmare with Sir Oliver Humperdinck versus Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. It is important to note that Tony Torres is the referee here, not Tommy Gilbert.
Well, they only have to be fair.
Exactly. So the story of this match is Gilbert kept trying to take the mask off of the Nightmare. And, Nightmare put on a bear hug, and Gilbert reached behind and pulled at the strings. And then he put on his own sleeper, but instead of really going for it, he was going out to the mask again. So Nightmare put a foreign object in his mask. Gilbert put up his arms to block the headbutt. But when you do that, it hurts his arms because Nightmare has a foreign object in his mask. And Nightmare then won with a pile driver. So much
Yeah,
for
like,
poor hot stuff.
ow.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually kind of gave the Nightmare a run for his money. Gilbert looked scared at the start of the match. Like he was like, I'm not sure if I wanted to do this, if this is in my contract. But I don't know why I wrote this. I have brother, no. I don't remember why I wrote that. I write stupid jokes into my notes and then don't remember them.
You'll fit in quite well on this show, let me tell you that.
It's difficult to not write in stupid jokes into my thesis papers.
Until you got to find a place to put your stupid jokes.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And
Well,
what better time to do that than here for this podcast?
Oh, just wait till I run away to the Ren Fair. It's all kinds of fun jokes.
So we may not have a show for like a month at that point.
Why?
I don't know. You're going to go to the Ren Fair on the weekends and then watch an hour of Mid-South Wrestling? I mean, hey, I'd love it if he did, but, you know.
Well, I can watch it on... So, I can watch it on Friday. I'm going to do my homework during the week, watch the show on Friday, go to the Ren Fair on the weekend. Oh my God, I'm going to die.
You're going to die. You know? Well, I hope... let's go to Robert Fuller with something.
I got 15 women running around on me. IRS up my rear end, son. I got all kinds of problems, but I'm going to guarantee you, son, I ain't going to do the Von Erich thing. You know what I'm talking? No, I'm not. But
please don't do the Von Erich thing. And the
I'll try not to.
You have no idea what that is because you would not be laughing.
I honestly couldn't even understand what he was saying. But the auditory was not processing.
I'll have you watching enough Southern wrestling that you'll be like, oh, I know what he says now.
Sure, because I've watched things for my entire life and still don't get jokes. So why is my phone ringing?
I don't know. I'm not calling you or texting you.
No, it was my reminder.
To watch the show?
No, to take my bedtime stuff, my bedtime medicine. Your
bedtime beds.
Yeah.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Carl Styles. I was completely distracted during this match because they announced that Carl was from Columbus, Ohio. And I can never hear somebody being from Columbus, Ohio without thinking of that first Piper's Pit with Frankie Williams, where Piper's like, where are you from? And he's like, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. And Roddy Piper's like, oh, you are from Columbus, Ohio. You know, I've never lost in Columbus, Ohio. Have you ever lost in Columbus, Ohio? And the joke is,
you can't lie to me. Ohio isn't real.
Well, you have to tell Frankie Williams that because he thinks he was from Columbus, Ohio.
You cannot trick me. Ohio is not real. We had this discussion.
Not on the air. Why do you think Ohio is not real?
I don't know. Nothing happens in Ohio.
That doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Lies.
More stuff happens in Ohio than like Montana.
Montana's not real either.
What about Idaho?
Well, I mean, we have to get potatoes from somewhere.
So what do you think is happening in those large gaps of space right there? Is Pennsylvania just like much longer than implied?
No, they're government-run facilities for aliens.
So Ohio and Montana are government-run facilities for aliens, you say?
Well, Montana is. Ohio is just the void.
See, I figured Montana is where they put all the gay people at.
No, that's P-Town.
Well, I mean, P-Town's not that big. Have you been to P-Town?
I have. I want to go again. We should go again.
I think I said we should go again. We never went once.
Well, we should go.
I'll say I've gone to P-Town. You've
I,
gone to P-Town, but we
let's
did
go
not go
together.
I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see.
I'm just messing with you, right? Like I know Ohio and Montana are real.
And you know that I have a podcast that we have to pad the runtime for this week. And so if you want to tell me your crazy conspiracies on Montana not being real, feel free
And
to.
and for the 4 people that actually listen to the show, I'm a
Hey,
master's student.
hey, asshole. There were 9 listeners last week.
And I was one of them because I clicked on it to see what the view count was.
I like that you didn't just go to my page to see what the view count was. You clicked on the video.
I can't always find your page, but I can usually find the video for some reason.
Maybe because I link it on Facebook and tag you in it.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's a good reason why. By the way, Jim Duggan won with the spear. Any thoughts on this match between Jim Duggan and Carl Styles?
Yeah, Hacksaw just wanted this over. Like he didn't care. He just wanted it done. Like, and poor Carl got no love. Like, just he was just not happy to be there in any way, shape, or form.
He got told the finish of the match, which should not have been a surprise to him, but it was a surprise to him, I guess, because he may have had boo boo face on.
Well, it was like, you have to do this match or you're not going to get your paycheck this week. But Dad, I don't want to clean my room. You know?
I like that. I like the idea that Carl Styles is calling Bill Watts dad when Bill Watts' son is on commentary.
Sorry, my feet got cold.
All right, so main event time. Wendell Cooley versus Jerry Gray, or as it's spelled in England, Jerry Gray. You didn't get that joke, did you?
No, I got it. I'm just trying to fix my blanket because my feet are cold.
Uh-huh. Says the woman who lives in an ice box. Seriously, how you have 2 fucking air conditioners on, plus your overhead fan, and ladies and
one AC on.
You have the one on the left side of the bed and the one at the bottom of the bed.
The one on my side is just a fan.
Yeah.
It's just a desktop fan, and then I have an air conditioner.
It is not a desktop fan.
It's a very, very strong fan, yes.
Girl, don't try to hoodwink me. Don't try to hornswoggle me here. I sleep next to the one air conditioner. You have the air conditioner in the other window. You have the overhead fan on. It's like you're trying to give me pneumonia here in August.
That's for the ambiance. That's for the sound.
The ambiance. The ambiance of turning your girlfriend into an icicle.
I mean, I also have the heated bed pad on.
Well, so it's broken because I've never felt a heated bed pad in that bed in my life.
I like my room cold, so I can wear a lot of blankets. I like blankets on top of me.
Yeah, and the best part is, like, we're sharing blankets, and she just rips them off me during the night. And so me, the person who's freezing cold, when it's 70 degrees outside, gets sick as hell.
I set up more blankies next to you that you can just grab them.
I literally have my gray fleece hoodie that I wear in her house in the middle of summer.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, winter's not much better.
But at least then I don't feel weird wearing a giant fleece hoodie.
I like hoodies and sweatshirts.
I do too, just not in July. When it's 100 degrees, when it's 100 degrees outside, and I come into your house having to wear, sweaters.
Looks like it hot flashes.
Oh Lord, they're of the 9 listeners, 8 of them sympathize with me right now. Wendell Cooley versus Jerry Gray, or is it spelled in England, Jerry Gray? But oh my God, we have a special news bulletin. Let's go now to the special news bulletin that has interrupted this very important match.
We interrupt this match to bring you this crucial update on the events that happened in the Superdome. First, in a very controversial situation, Cowboy Bill Watts and Hacksaw Jim Duggan wrestled Kamala and Kareem Mohammed in a no disqualification match. Cowboy Bill Watts was the loser of the fall, and the stipulations of the match dictate that Watts cannot wrestle in the Mid-South for 90 days. This is Cowboy Bill Watts' first defeat ever in the Superdome. We don't know the identity of the masked man who interfered in the match. He is apparently a new henchman employed by Skandar Akbar and could possibly be a new addition to Akbar's army. This situation could place Jim Duggan in dire jeopardy in his battle with Skandar Akbar. Also, Dick Murdoch became the new North American champion in a resounding victory over the Nightmare. In spite of protests being registered by Sir Oliver Humperdinck, Dick Murdoch is officially the new North American champion. And finally, in a no disqualification bout inside a steel cage with bruiser Bob Sweetan as the official referee, Jake the Snake Roberts and the Barbarian wrestled Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death for the Mid-South Tag Team titles. The outcome was extremely controversial as Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death retained the titles with apparent collusion with bruiser Bob Sweetan, a former Mid-South Brass Knucks champion. Ted DiBiase is leaving for Japan to attend to business interests. He says there will be no Mid-South Tag Team title matches until his return in 30 days. It appears that there is more turmoil in the Mid-South area than there ever has been before, and the very fiber of Mid-South is being threatened. I'm Scott Munz reporting from Mid-South at the Superdome. Now let's go back to Jim Ross and Joel Watts and the match in progress.
Thank you, Scott Muntz. Further question, who the fuck is Scott Muntz?
You would know better than me, babe.
Actually, we would know equally. I've been watching this show, since December 1981. It is August 1985. Scott Muntz has never been on this show.
Oh.
Honestly, you know who he kind of looked like? He kind of looks like Al Franken.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, I'm sure you do. If you saw a picture of him, you'd know who Al Franken is. But yeah,
I can't put names to faces very easily. I'm sorry.
No worries. But yeah, it's like the guy, like short little curly hair, big glasses, a mustache. Like this is 1980 Al Franken, but he claims his name is Scott Muntz.
Yep, I know who that is now. Kind of like a Groucho Marx.
Yeah, but we suddenly get a crucial update, which is given us by, as I called him, some guy with a mustache. And he said that Bill Watts was the loser of the match, so now he cannot wrestle in Mid-South for 90 days. What a loss that the guy who's wrestled like twice since May now can't wrestle for 90 days.
I'm heartbroken.
Oh, I bet you were. Yeah, I felt like I should have been over there tonight when I watched this. I felt like I should have come over to your house to console you upon finding out that Bill Watts won't be able to wrestle in the Mid-South region for 90 days.
Yep. Broke my heart.
And what happened was some guy in a mask ran in and interfered. Now, because he was a short, skinny guy in a mask, it very well could have been Scott Muntz for all we know. But I'm assuming we're going to find out who this man is at some point in the very near future. But also, the champion is no longer the champion. He lost the North American title to Dick Murdoch, but it just makes Dick Murdoch the champion now.
For now.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I
I
was gonna
mean,
say,
like it goes back and forth so fast. Like who the champion is and who isn't the champion and who's fighting who and we're fighting these people because they're bad, but they're bad and blah blah blah.
well, then I don't even say the big news because I guess Bill Watts being gone for 90 days is the big news. But they had the tag title match in the cage with Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase versus Jake Roberts and the Barbarian. And Bob Sweetan, of all people, was the referee. And then Bob Sweetan, of all people, turned heel and cost Jake Roberts and the Barbarian the tag team titles by refusing to count when Jake had the pin on DiBiase. And now DiBiase is headed to Japan for 30 days to deal with his business interests so that there'll be no title defenses for the next month.
I somehow doubt that. I mean, it probably won't, but I don't fucking know.
I guess we'll see. You know, we'll have to tune in next week to find out more, you know.
Again? But Mom.
Yep, they do this show every week, believe it or not.
I don't believe you.
Not this show, but, you know, a completely different show happens every week.
Wow.
Well, thank you, Scott Muntz. And we go from there back to the ring for the Wendell Cooley Jerry Gray match. And when we come back, the middle rope has been broken off the ring.
Yeah, they said it was steel, and I'm like, bullshit, that's fucking steel.
Well, the rope, actually, it's an elevator cable inside of a garden hose. I'm serious. That's what it is. But yeah, when we came back, Wendell Cooley and Jerry Gray are like running into the corner, and the middle rope has fallen off. And I'll be honest, I'd rather have seen how the hell that happened than hear about the Superdome.
Right? Like, in my notes, I say, I wanted to see the match. Like, I don't care about the Superdome. Like, I mean...
But did you notice that when they go to the corner, Jerry Gray looks towards the camera and mouths the word fuck?
No.
Well, Cooley pinned Gray with a sunset flip and a 4 count. And we were told that next week we're going to have midgets.
Again, we'll see.
We'll see if we actually get them next week now.
Lies.
Any thought on this Wendell Cooley Jerry Gray match? I mean, we didn't see a whole lot of it.
I mean, I kind of wish we had seen more. Like, how did the thingy break? But, I mean, also at the same time, like, it was kind of meh. Like, this whole week was kind of meh.
And I'll be honest, I mean, it was kind of obvious, you know, why they had, you know, they gave this match, like, a lot of time was left on the show. But obviously the point was, you know, they were going to cut in with the Superdome highlights. So, feel worse for those poor people in the crowd that had to watch this entire match.
Right?
So that's it for Mid-South Wrestling. Not the best episode of Mid-South Wrestling we've ever seen.
No, I was wondering what the hell you made me watch this week.
Well, it's not my fault. I don't book these shows 40 years ago.
You don't?
I do not, no.
Okay.
All right. So anything you want to talk about here before we wrap things up?
Not really. I think it was a pretty boring week.
Okay. All right, so that's all. We might as well throw in the towel and call it a week here. You know, we want to thank everyone for listening. Hope you all enjoyed the show, and we'll talk to you again in 7 days.
Like, subscribe, and stay frosty.